So I'm going to explain the third activity that's a major event for your week. So this is your major work on. I have given 5 days in which to work on this assignment, and actually maybe even 6, depending on when you get started with it. So once you click on task number 3 on our virtual textbook here, or virtual book, then I will go through the assignment. So what I've done is I've pasted below the actual document, but I think it's a lot easier for you to just click on the link here and be able to look at your own document. Super important when you're working on an assignment, as you know, to be able to have it in front of you to make sure you're meeting all the criteria, etc. So here you just click on that link that I had just shared with you. And then once it opens, you can decide if you want to open it with Google Docs, and then you can save a copy of it for yourself, or you can cut and paste whatever works best for yourself. So now that you guys have just finished doing some reading activities with Chapter 5, looking at national interest and foreign policy, now you're going to have an opportunity to choose a current hot topic that has to do with national interest and foreign policy and go into it with more depth. So I'll just read the instructions here and then I'll go through at the bottom. It says, now that you have finished reading about national interests and foreign policies, you should have a greater understanding of national interests as well as types of case studies of foreign policy. Now you will be completing a project where you will delve into a case study on the topic with greater depth. For this assignment, you are to choose one of the following for which you would like to complete this research inquiry project on. This project will be presented to the class within our Moodle course. You can work in partners or complete the assignment alone. It is your choice. Should you choose to complete the project with a partner, it must be through a digital medium that both of you can communicate and complete the work within online. For this project, dash ones and dash twos are graded differently, so if you choose a partner, they need to be in the same cohort for this one. So step number 1 is choosing your topic. So here I have 5 different topics that you can see here. So Arctic sovereignty, world oil prices and complexities with OPEC, global pandemics, global indigenous rights, global warming, and climate change. So then once you've decided which one you want to do, I will show you after I'm done going through the rest of the assignment where you go to sign up so that I know who's doing what. Then what you're going to do is you're going to choose, once you've chosen a medium that will work for yourself or you and your partner, you just want to assemble, the best advice I can give you is to assemble the project as you go. So what you will be doing is looking for 2 different current issues. So for example, say you chose global indigenous rights. What I'm asking you to do is look for one really current article, but try to stay away from what we've done in class already. Try to find a different stream, so it can even be a different country. So I don't want it to be any current events that we've already addressed in class. So find something different to do with Indigenous rights that's happening right now in our world, like within the last week or even today. Then find a second article and look for another Indigenous issue that was happening either in our country or elsewhere in the world, something that you didn't know about before. I want this to be an inquiry project for you to be able to find other case studies on these topics and then be able to apply it. So what you're going to do for each of the 2 sources, so dash ones, you're going to do 2 current issues. Dash twos, you're going to do 1. So dash twos, for each of them, you are going to link to the original article or the news video. So I do want to be a news source. So please make sure it's an article or a news video and a reliable news source, not someone that is claiming they're a news source and calling it some fake news. So make sure it's an actual news source. What is the issue? So summarize the key points, define important terms, provide background as needed for the context in which you are talking about. So that I would put on one. I would put that as a title slide, and then as I find information, I would plunk it into the couple of slides to follow and with some pictures. Then go on to the next topic, make this into a topic slide. Which countries are involved? And then when you have that information, put it into that area. Third section, what national interests are being represented, representing the countries that are involved. So that would be another title slide. Next one, potential threat to national interests, another title slide. The next one, what bias or perspective is being represented? That would be the other slide. And this last bullet that's in blue is for dash ones only. Dash twos do not do this one. What types of national policies are associated with your chosen case study and provide details. So you would do that all into some type of a presentation, ensuring that you're locating images, make sure that you're using maps. I really want the locations of the countries to be prevalent. So remember when we first started this course, we started actually doing a little bit of mapping with countries that we had looked at. I want you to continue doing that so that you're adding to your geographical understanding of where nations are in the world. So please make sure you've got a map of all countries involved with your case studies and your current issues. You might come across some really awesome charts, and then I want some really good primary sources right from the sites that you're coming from. So you can do clippings of them, etc., and make it your presentation very visual. So it needs to have visual content as well as informational content at the same time. So words and visuals on this one. It's not going to be presented live, so your words have to be present there also. There's no side notes that you can add to as you're speaking. So it needs to be all encompassing. Jot notes is fine for this. Please do not put this into huge paragraphs, but I want complete point form for this. And then please make sure also that your final page has a reference page that shows every URL where your pictures came from, your charts came from, your maps came from, and then all the information that you used in order to add background knowledge, as well as the links to the actual news sources or the videos. So -1s you do all, and -2s you do that all for the first one. -2s, once you have that completed, you are finished with the project. -2s, now you need to find another current issue. So again, you're going to be tasked with finding something that's really recent and something that's within the last 10 years. So depending on your context, you can go beyond Canada. So certainly please do, because we do want it to go beyond just our own country. And most of these are, well, they're all talking about global issues. So definitely you have other places to go in at different points of view than just the Canadian perspective. Okay, how you will be graded, -1 and -2, this is where there's a bit of a separation here with how you're being graded. So I'll talk about -1s first. So -1s, you will notice that there are two numbers in each of these categories. And the reason being, all of these are completely in line with the criteria for the assignment sheet that I've just gone over from above. So each of these bulleted points are represented in your criteria here. So the reason you have 2 5s and 2 4s, etc., is maybe on your Article 1 you get a 5, maybe on your Article 2 you get a 4 in that category. So that's just a way to differentiate between how well are you doing between one article and the other as far as the criteria. -1s you will just get, or excuse me, -2s, you will just get one assessment on your one article that you are presenting for each of these categories. So disregard the doubled up numbers. And then at the very bottom, and then you'll see here, that's that one category I took out for -2, so that'll be representative only for -1s. And then at the bottom, you'll see the different totals that you will have depending if you're -1 or -2. So -2s, your total out of the criteria that I've gone over will be out of a possible of 20, which I will convert to a mark out of 15 in Power School. And -1s, yours will be out of a total of 50 possible, which will be converted also to a mark out of 15 in Power School. So that is the overview of the assignment. Now I'm just going to go back to our actual course. So first thing you want to do is come down here where it says sign up on digital sign up sheet. Boy, that's a mouthful. So you click on that. I could have worded that differently, hey? So you'll open that up. And then here is where I want you to please put your individual names or your group names, depending if you're working on it alone or with a partner. And I'll let you self-manage as far as choose something that's of interest, choose something that maybe you don't know as much about, whatever you want it to do. It does not matter to me. But please, if you're seeing 3 people are in one section already, please go to another. So each square in the chart will represent one project. So whether that's an individual or a team, please put your names in one space. And again, self-manage to try to get the most diversity with the projects. You can please sign up for this by Wednesday the 25th. This assignment, however, is not due until April the 1st. So that's a full week and a day in which to complete this project. So there's lots of time to do that for you. I'm going to close out of here and go back to our document here. Okay, and then the last thing that you're going to do once you're finished with that, so I'm going to go back to our main course. So once your project is all done, so fast forwarding a week from now, you're going to then post your project into, this will be open for you at that time, and you would click on this category, you would choose the topic that your project was about, and then you would post your project linked here by replying to this thread, putting your names in the subject field, right? Just like the other ones that I have shared with you, names go here. And then here you want to create a link to your project. Now, please make sure with your projects that you are making sure that the links have been changed under advanced settings so anyone with a link can view without signing in. Super, super, super important. And then once you have some text, you just highlight it, click on the link, and then you take your URL and paste it in there, which in this case I do not have a URL. I was just pasting in some code. So you would paste your URL here. Really important to say to click on this open in a new window and then click on the create link. If you don't do that, then when people open up your link and if they close it, then they're out of Moodle altogether, which is very frustrating. So on websites, you always want to make sure, which is what you're working in, you want to make sure you're opening in a new window. Okay, and then this would be linked if I had a link there handy for you. And then you would go post a forum and then people would click on that and your project would open up in a new link. Okay, so that is the gist of what you need to know for the week ahead. Um, as far as activity number 3 goes. If you have any questions, you know how to reach me. Happy to help you guys.